Hello everybody. In this video we will discuss some of the basic nomenclatures of carboxylic acid and carboxylic acid derivatives. So I have written down already what is the pattern of name that you would expect. So remember, if we have a carbon chain, we call this alkane, right? So that's our carbon chain. So I have written down all the name, how we're gonna call each functional group. So for example, here it's gonna call as alkanoic acid, alkanoate, alkyl alkanoate, alkanoyl chloride, and alkanamide. So let's start with the first one. So first thing that you want to do is identify the longest parent chain that contains the functional group. So in this case, our functional group is carboxylic acids. Okay. And then you want to find the longest chain that contains that functional group. So our longest carbon chain that we have is these. So we got how many carbon atoms in here? 1, 2. So we know that longest chain containing our carbon chain is gonna be our 2 carbon atom. So this is gonna be our parent. So our parents has 2 carbon atom. And what is the name? What is the alkane name? If we have 2 carbon atom, it's gonna be ethane. Now the E here is gonna be replaced. So E replaced by oic acid. Okay, so that's the simple terminologies right there. So E is replaced by oic acid. So how would you name it? So it's gonna be ethanoic acid. So ethane, then E is gone. It's replaced by oic acid. So E is gone, and instead we got oic acid. Okay, so that's ethanoic acid. So same way, if you have 3 carbon chain, propanoic acid, butanoic acid, pentanoic acid, hexanoic acid, and so on. One thing that you want to know is since this is one of the very commonly used molecules, so this is found in we use this in our kitchen. That's our vinegar. So vinegar is basically acetic acid. So the common name for this molecule is acetic acid. Okay. And then if we have 1 carbon atoms, let's say if we have something like this, HCOOH, it has 1 carbon atom, right? So it's the name of this thing would be methanoic acid or formic acid. So this one is methanoic acid. It's 2 words, by the way. And then, or the common name is formic acid. Formic acid. All right. So this is found in ant. When the ant bites you, you get that. What do you call the burning sensation? That's because of the formic acid. Okay. So next one is alkanoid. So if the hydrogen is gone, so we know that this is an acid, right? So this here is our acidic hydrogen. So you see at the end, this is our acidic hydrogen. So if you treat a base, any of your carboxylic acid, the acidic hydrogen will be gone. That will leave a negative charge on this oxygen. So when something is negative charge, we call it alkanoid. So again, if we go back to our convention, so here you follow the same pattern. Find the longest chain containing the carbon chain and the functional group. So in this case, it's gonna be 2 carbon atoms, right? So you're gonna either you can start with ethanoic acid. Now this is gone, so it's gonna call as ethanoid. Ethanoid. So the negative charge is not gonna be on its own. it's usually going to be stay with a positive charge. So let's say the positive charge is sodium plus. Then you're going to call it sodium ethanoate, sodium propanoate, sodium butanoate, sodium pentanoate, so on. So this one has a common name as well, just like acetic acid. This one is acetate. So you see here, going from acetic acid to acetate, what did we change? We changed the ic acid is replaced by OAT. So ic acid here is replaced by OAT. Sorry, not OAT. I meant it. So same here, the ic acid is gone and it is replaced by ATE. Okay. Or you can think this way as well. So you can start with 2 carbon atom. So 2 carbon atom is ethane. And then the E is replaced by whichever side you prefer. E replaced by OAT. So you can see here the E is gone and then now it becomes ethanoate. Okay, so whichever side you want to go for, that's up to you. I usually go from here to here because it's a ethanoic acid derivative, so that's easier. Okay, so next one we'll go over is our ester. So here, so ester, let's focus on here. So you noticed this is an ester right there. Ester functional group is when you have COOO and there is 2 carbon chain on either side. So in this case, so if you have an ester, so let's try to compare ester versus this carboxylate group. So here you notice this whole thing is the same as this thing. Okay, so you can call that as parent. So what was we call this one before? Well, we call this as ethanoate or acetate. So this portion here is same as the one that is before here. Okay, so this portion, so what did we call it? We call it ethanoate, right? This whole thing was ethanoate, we already decided. Then you're gonna put the alkyl group as a substituent. So this is gonna be a substituent. So what should we name it? 1 carbon atom, so that's gonna be methyl and ethanoate. Or you can call it methyl acetate. Okay, because that's the common name. So how we compare, how we derive this name into this one, so you always go over that side. Okay, this one again, the same way you can compare. Next one, alkanoyl chloride. So I like to go over from here. So let's say you go over here. So again, the same thing, ic acid is replaced by yl chloride. Again, it doesn't have to be chloride, it can be bromide, or so basically yl halide. So yl chloride. So what would be the name would be ethanoyl chloride. So you got ethanoic. The ic acid is replaced, so ic acid is gone, so it's gonna be ethanoyl chloride. Okay, I'm running out of space. So this is 2 words, by the way, ethanoyl chloride. So you can go that pattern, or you can go on this side as well. Look at how many carbon atom we have. So we have 2 carbon atoms. So 2 carbon atom is the parent chains, ethane. Then the E is replaced by oil chloride, oil chloride. So ethanol chloride. Okay, so that's how you can name it. Last one is very easy. Again, this one is an amide functional group. So this is an amide functional group, CONH2. How we would do it. So you can start with the similar patterns. Find the longest chain. So it has two carbon atoms. That means ethane. And then the E is replaced by, so E is replaced by amide. So it's gonna be ethanamide. So E is gone, the new thing gets added, that is ethanamide. The common name for this one is called acetamide. So you can see every time you got two of those, it's something related to acid. Common name here would be acetyl chloride. Okay. So what if we will make it slightly more complicated here? So what if we got something like this, CH3, CO, N, CH3, H. So this is a secondary amide. Secondary amide. Why it's called secondary amide? Because nitrogen is connected to two carbon chains. Here, the nitrogen in the amide connected to two carbon chains. If you compare here, the nitrogen is connected to one carbon chain. So this is a primary amide. So you can have tertiary amide too. When you have another carbon chains here. So that would be tertiary. So this is a secondary amide. So how would you name it? So same pattern. Find the longest chain containing the functional group. So in this case, our functional group is amide. But the longest chain containing the amide is going to be these. So you're going to count from here. You don't count nitrogen because nitrogen is blocked. So this here is a substituent. Don't bring that as a part of the chain. So here it's going to be a secondary amide. So longest chain is two carbon atom. So that's ethane. Then the E is replaced by amide. So it's going to be ethanamide. So this will be your parent. So this is going to be your parent. And the substituent. So substituent would be here, this. So this would be your substituent. So what is the substituent? Is methyl. So it's going to be methyl ethanamide. Okay, last thing you want to do is where exactly the methyl group is present. The methyl group is present on the nitrogen. So you're gonna N-methyl ethanamide. Okay, so let's do one more example of amide and then we can move on. So let's say we got something like this, 2, 3. Okay, so what would we name this? So let's look at the functional group. What functional group we have here? Functional group. So we got amide, right? Then how many carbon chain? So carbon chain parent. So in this case, you gotta count from the carbonyl 1, 2. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. So we got 4. So 4 carbon atom means butane. Then the E is replaced by amide. So that's butanamide. And then what are the substituents? So our substituents are, this is a substituent, this is a substituent. So these two are substituents. So how many carbon atom we have in substituent? 2 carbon atoms. So that's, so the way we write this, okay, I will write that. So 2 carbon atom means ethyl, ethyl. So the way we name this is you first find out how many carbon atom you got, ethane, and then the A and E is replaced by while ethyl. So that's our ethyl butanamide. So how many ethyl we got? We got 2 ethyl, right? So let's call it diethyl. So if you have 2 of them, then you can call it maybe methyl ethyl or propyl ethyl or isopropyl, whatever you got. So diethyl butanamide. Now where exactly both of the ethyl groups are? They're on nitrogen. So you gotta put N comma N dash diethyl butanamide. So you gotta bring these one word butanamide and make uncapitalized. Oh, come on. That's gonna be our butanamide. So N-diethyl butanamide. Okay, let's do one more practice and then you can move on. So maybe we could do something like this. So in this case, let's look at, so what functional group it is. So this is an ester. Okay, let's try to isolate the carboxylate portion. So this portion here has a carboxylic acids, right? So it came from carboxylate acid. So how many carbon atom we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 carbon atoms. So that's pentane. So E is replaced by oic acid. So this portion is coming from a carboxylic acid. So this portion is from, so derived from carboxylic acid. You can think this way, derived from carboxylic acid. So that's your pentanoic acid. Then ic acid. So E is replaced by oic acid. And then ic acid is replaced by, so the ic acid here is next. So next the ic acid is replaced by 8. So that's your pentanoid. Pentanoid. Now, what is the substituent here? The substituent, this is your substituent. Substituent has 2 carbon atoms. 2 carbon atom means ethane. And every time you have a substituent, then the A and E is gone. It's going to be replaced by ethyl. So that's your substituent. So it's going to be ethyl pentanoid. So that's how we name our esters, ethyl pentanoid. All right, so that's all about. So I'll stop this video here.